Power is rarely stolen in one strike. It does not vanish in catastrophe. It bleeds out, quietly, drop by drop. Through habits so pathetic, you hardly notice them. The fuck laugh you give to appease, the apology you never owed, the words you spill because silence terrifies you. The Stoics warned of erosion, strength leaking through weakness. Machiavelli warned of contempt, the slow rot of a prince who makes himself ordinary. Combine these truths, and the lesson is merciless. Presence is not taken from you, you surrender it. And today, we will expose the hidden habits that hollow your authority and arm you with their opposites, sharpened into weapons. Talking more than you do you know why most people are dismissed? It's simple. They drown in chatter and starve in action. Think about it. How many pathetic fools do you know who trumpet their grand ambitions? I'm starting a business. I'll get in shape. This year everything changes, and yet, nothing. Not a strike, not a move, just hot air. Here's the brutal truth. Words are worthless. Action is the only coin of power. The more you yap, the less you are believed. Machiavelli himself warned, a ruler who makes many promises will lose respect, because when results fail, he becomes contemptible. He praised Cesare Borgia, not for speeches, but for striking without warning. By the time his enemies understood his plan, they were already on the ground. Now look at your own world. At work, do colleagues admire the loudmouth who brags about what he'll achieve? Or do they roll their eyes and wait for his inevitable failure? In politics, do people revere the promise-maker who never delivers? Or do they mock him as a clown unfit to rule? Even in friendships, when someone keeps saying, "Let's meet soon," but never appears, do you respect them? Or do you stop listening altogether? Understand this, noise is forgotten, shock is immortal. So here is the Machiavellian play. Seal your lips, bleed in silence, strike without warning. When pressed about your plans, feed only mystery. You'll see. Then deliver, suddenly, ruthlessly, so the world is left stunned. Picture this. Instead of littering the internet with gym selfies, you vanish for 3 months. Then you reappear transformed, harder, sharper, untouchable. No one laughs, they bow. Or in business, while the amateurs beg for attention with empty promises, you work unseen. Then one day, you release a product so flawless, it crushes every critic in silence. So I'll ask you, do you want to be remembered as a babbler of empty words, or feared as the one who strikes without warning? Because here is the law of power. Talk erodes belief. Silence breeds suspense. Action bends reality itself. Noise dies. Results reign. Choose. Overexplaining is nailing. Have you ever caught yourself rambling, desperate to make sure people understand you? You explain, re-explain, over-explain, until you sound like a beggar pleading for credibility. Here's the brutal truth. Every time you rush to justify yourself, you confess weakness. Ask yourself, when did true power ever waste breath defending itself? Did Steve Jobs write essays explaining every design choice? Did Cesare Borgia pen apologies for his cruelty? Did Machiavelli defend his own ruthlessness? Never. The strong act. The weak explain. Machiavelli himself warned rulers, never argue your weakness. Why? Because defense is admission. The moment you scramble to justify, suspicion hardens into certainty. Borgia understood this. He answered slander with silence. His enemies rotted in uncertainty, never in his words. Now look at the modern world. At work, when a manager keeps justifying every decision, what do you smell? Insecurity. In politics, when a leader spends hours clarifying instead of acting, what do you see? Fear. In relationships, When someone panics to explain every text, every glance, do they look confident? Or do they reek of desperation? Understand this. Over-explaining is submission. It is kneeling in public. You think you are shielding yourself. In reality, you're handing your enemies the blade. So what is the law? Resist the urge to defend. Starve doubt with silence. When challenged, give short, final words. You'll see. Then let reality do the killing. Picture it. Someone sneers at your business idea. Instead of babbling, you simply nod. Weeks later, your launch explodes. Their doubt dies without a funeral. Or someone mocks your discipline in the gym. Don't argue. Don't defend. Disappear into silence. Months later, your transformation will bury their laughter. So I'll ask you, do you want to sound unsettled or radiate unshakable power? Because here is the law of silence. The moment you stop explaining, the world stops doubting. Silence does not defend you. It crowns you.
Hey guys, we're Strategy, based in Abu Dhabi. We use AI tools to make these concepts come to life, but it's our amazing team who goes deep, breaking down powerful philosophical ideas and showing how they really apply in everyday life. We hope you enjoyed today's content.
Guard your smile like a blade. Why do some people command the room the moment they step in, while others vanish into the wallpaper? It's not their words, it's their reactions. Here's the iron truth. What is given freely loses all value. Your smile, your laughter, your approval. If you hand them out like scraps, they are worth nothing. Most people are pathetic in this. They laugh at jokes that don't deserve breath. They grin to fill silence. They toss their reactions like beggars scattering coins. And with each wasted smile, their presence shrivels. Machiavelli warned, a prince must never invite contempt. And nothing breeds contempt faster than being too eager, too familiar, too desperate to please. Scarcity creates mystery. Mystery breeds fear. And fear, as Machiavelli knew, is far more reliable than love. Look around you today. At work, the boss who chuckles at every weak joke, is he respected or ridiculed behind his back? In society, the person always grinning, always eager to nod along, are they admired or dismissed as harmless furniture? Even in relationships, when you reward every word with a smile, do you look powerful or needy? Understand this. Constant laughter screams insecurity. Reserved laughter radiates dominance. So what is the law? Stop scattering your approval. Make it rare. Make it earned. Do not laugh at weak humor, especially when it's aimed at you. Do not smile just to ease tension. Let silence hang heavy. Make others sweat to break it. Picture this. Instead of chuckling at every cheap remark, you stay composed. Then once, sharply, you laugh. That single strike lands like thunder. People freeze, they remember, or imagine a tense conversation. Instead of plastering on a grin, you remain still. The silence grows. They scramble for your approval. They chase you. So ask yourself, do you want to be the clown, entertaining with endless reactions? Or the sovereign, whose rare smile feels like a gift from above? Because here is the law. The rarer your reaction, the heavier your presence. Guard your smile like a blade, and let the world bleed to earn it. Never kneel with words. How many times today did you whisper, sorry, when there was nothing to be sorry for? Sorry for being in your way. Sorry, could you repeat that? Sorry, I just wanted to ask. Do you see it? You are bowing without being commanded. Here is the truth. Every needless apology is a silent confession of inferiority. When you infect your speech with sorry, you shrink. And when you shrink, others feel it in their bones. Instinct takes over. They rank you lower in the hierarchy. You've crowned yourself the servant. Machiavelli warned, weakness breeds contempt. An apology without cause is weakness made flesh. A true ruler bends only when it strengthens his grip. He apologizes as a tactic, not as a tick. Now look around you. The colleague who apologizes before every sentence, are they respected or trampled without thought? The friend who apologizes for existing in a room, are they admired or quietly dismissed as irrelevant? Understand this. Constant apology is the dialect of the powerless. The strong do not beg for pardon. The strong reframe, not sorry I'm late, but thank you for waiting. Gratitude elevates, apology kneels. So what must you do? Purge sorry from your reflexes. Replace it with gratitude or silence. Apologize only when strategy demands it, when the act itself tightens your control. Picture this. You arrive late to a meeting. Instead of groveling with, sorry, I'm always late, you say, thank you for your patience. One response brands you small. The other brands you sovereign. Or in a presentation, you forget a detail. The weak stammer apologies. The strong continue without pause. The mistake dissolves because they refused to kneel. So I ask you, are you climbing toward respect or stacking the bricks of your own prison, one pitiful sorry at a time? Because every needless apology is self-betrayal. Every bow of the tongue is a chain on your neck. Stop kneeling, stand tall, rule with your presence. Let silence crush them. Why do so many people babble like fools? Because they fear silence. They scramble to fill every pause with noise. They stutter, ramble, overshare, anything to escape the weight of stillness. But here is the brutal truth. The man who fears silence reveals he fears himself. Machiavelli advised, a ruler must appear reserved, so men do not take liberties with him. Why? Because silence unsettles. Silence suffocates. Silence forces others to expose themselves. The prince who controls silence controls the court. Look around you today. In meetings, the nervous man fills every gap with chatter. The powerful man waits. Suddenly others scramble to justify themselves. In arguments, the insecure man cannot stop talking. But the one who holds silence forces his opponent to bleed out their weaknesses. In negotiations, the fool blurts his offer. The master holds silence, and the other side collapses first. Understand this. Words may persuade, silence commands. So what must you do? Train yourself to endure silence. Make others break before you do. In conversation, hold eye contact and let the stillness weigh on them. In debates, pause until the other side cracks. In life, speak less. And when you finally speak, drop words like hammers. Picture this. A heated discussion erupts. Everyone scrambles to argue. You remain calm, silent, unmoving. The air thickens. The silence crushes them, not you. They spill more, concede more, destroy themselves, all while you say nothing. Or in a negotiation, you deliver your demand, then wait. The silence gnaws at them. They lower their price. They hand you victory, just to make the silence stop. So ask yourself, do you want to be the jester who rushes to fill the air, or the sovereign who bends the room with silence? Because remember this law of power, words may move men, but silence breaks them. Do not bark at flies. Have you ever felt your blood boil at a sarcastic remark, a smirk, a side comment, a whisper, and suddenly you snap? Here is the truth. The man who reacts to every slight proves he can be moved by the smallest hand. Flinch at petty disrespect, and you announce fragility, and fragility does not invite pity. It invites attack. Machiavelli taught, injuries must be inflicted all at once, benefits gradually. A ruler does not duel over trifles. He ignores the small. He saves his wrath for the strike that matters. Swat at every mosquito, and you become a clown. Strike once, decisively, and you become feared. Look at the modern world. At work, someone throws a sly joke. If you snap, you lose the room. If you stay calm, they look the fool while you remain untouchable. In society, rumors spread. If you chase every whisper, you look desperate. If you ignore them, the rumor dies in silence. In relationships, if you react to every jab, you look insecure. If you hold your ground, they wonder, what storm is he holding back? Understand this, most disrespect is bait. Only the weak bite. So what must you do? Ignore the petty, punish the real, strike once and never twice. Picture this. Someone mocks you in front of others. You do not react. You do not even blink. Weeks later, when that same fool crosses a true line, you unleash your answer. Once, cold and precise. The room learns forever. You are not a man to be toyed with. So ask yourself, do you want to be the reed that bends for every breeze, or the oak that stands unmoved until the axe falls once? Because here is the law. The oak does not sway for insects. It breaks only when it chooses to strike. Stand firm, refuse the bait, and when you punish, make it fatal. Power does not repeat. Have you ever spoken in a meeting or in a crowd, only to be met with silence? And what did you do? You repeated yourself, louder, nervous, desperate to be heard. Here is the truth. The moment you repeat yourself, you declare your words weightless. The man who scrambles to restate his point does not gain respect. He loses it. He does not command attention. He begs for it. Machiavelli understood this. Power does not lie in constant proclamation, but in decisive strikes. A prince who explains twice is already doubted. Better to be feared for silence than pitied for pleading. Now look at your world. In meetings, the respected voices speak once. If their words land, they shape the room. If ignored, they let the silence burn. And sooner or later, someone circles back, realizing what they missed. In arguments, the weak repeat themselves. The strong say it once, then fold their arms. Their silence unsettles more than repetition ever could. Even in friendships, demanding to be heard makes you needy. Speaking once, calmly, and letting silence carry your words makes you untouchable. Understand this. Repetition is the dialect of beggars. Command speaks once. So what must you do? Deliver your words once, with weight, with finality. If ignored, let silence punish them. Build a reputation that when you speak, it is never wasted. Picture this. In a noisy room, you speak once. No reaction. You do not repeat. Hours later, someone recalls your exact words. Suddenly, the room realizes what they overlooked. You did not chase their attention. You forced them to chase yours. So I ask you, do you want to be the man who pleads to be heard, or the one whose words echo long after silence? Because here is the law. Power does not repeat itself. Power speaks once. Respect is not a trophy you win once. It is a fire that must be fed every single day with ruthless, deliberate choices. Speak less, and let your actions strike. Explain less, and let silence defend you. React less, and let your presence grow rare, heavy, undeniable. The Stoics called it discipline. Machiavelli called it strategy. Together, they form a single law of iron. Respect is never asked for. Respect is engineered. So I leave you with this question. Are you living to be liked? Or are you engineering yourself to be feared, respected, and obeyed? Because history does not carve statues for chatterers. It does not remember the babblers, the overexplainers, the reactors. It remembers the few who mastered silence, the few who struck without warning, the few who bent the world to their will without ever asking.
Thanks for spending time with us. If this sparked a new way of thinking, hit like and subscribe to keep the ideas flowing. And don't forget, check the description for the links to the original books and resources we used today. We'll see you in the next one.